Yep.
Okay, it's 6 o'clock. Welcome to the Addison Township Board meeting. Today is May 16th, and the meeting is being held at 1440 Rochester Road in Addison Township. If we could all stand for the pledge. And Ed, you're our veteran. Please start.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing. Dear Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to be here and to do the township's business. We ask that you give us wisdom. We ask for protection for Chief Morosky and all of our firefighters. We also ask for protection for Sergeant T-Lander and the sheriff's deputies as they serve our community. We pray for our sick and those in need. We pray for the citizens in Ukraine as they fight for the freedoms we have here in America. And Lord, there are many that need our prayers that have dealt with loss this year. We pray that you just give them comfort. In these things we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Okay, could we have roll call, please?
Yes. Karen Geibel. Here. Linda Garrick. Absent and excused, please. Ed Brickfield.
Here.
Jacob Newby. Here. Lori Fisher. Here. Bennett present. Supervisor Pearson.
Here. Okay. Any announcements?
No.
Department reports, as usual, available in my office. Petitions?
None.
None. Order of business, approval of the agenda.
Could we please add workers' comp insurance renewal with MML due to the time constraints?
So we would add that as number 10.
Correct.
Okay, I'll ask the board.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the addition as noted.
Support.
Okay. Can we have roll call on that, please?
Yes. Karen Geibel. Yes. Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Ed Brickfield.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. Okay, now we'll go to the consent agenda.
Yes, before the board tonight is the April 18th, 2022 minutes, approval of April 2022 bills, resolution adopting the participation in Oakland County Sheriff's Office Marine Patrol, the 22 SEMCOG dues of $1,283 from 101 to 61915. And then appointments to the Construction Board of Appeals, and they're all for 2-year terms.
Okay, does the board have any discussion on that?
Bruce, is it the same 4 guys that's on the Construction Board of Appeals that's always been there?
Yes.
Okay.
And by law, we have to have one. We use them very, very rarely. We had to use them on the house that we had to condemn on the lake. That's really the only time we've had to use them. And we have to have one in place in case we do have something, so yes.
I've read the consent agenda. No one has any problems with it. I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
I'll support.
Okay.
Karen, did you say it?
I think Lauren and I both did, but
I didn't see
either
it.
or.
Karen?
Gotta be quick around here. Okay, so, we have support. Any other comments? No comments? We have roll call on that, please.
Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Ed Brickfield.
Yes.
Karen Geibel.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. Okay, now we'll move on to item number 2. The public hearing resolution for special assessment districts. These are the second and final hearings. This is, we'll start out with the first one, Ballantyne Road and Court, Birch Grove Court Road and Court. The township received special assessment roll, SAD, prepared for the purpose of defraying the maintenance costs for grading, repair, snow removal, cleanup, chloride and salt. The township received petitions signed by more than 50% of the record owners based on the tax rules of Oakland County, constituting more than 50% of the total road frontage of the proposed SAD, requesting the amount of $400 per parcel for each of the next 5 years to cover maintenance or improvements and a 5% collection fee for the township. Proper notice of the hearing was published in the Oxford Leader on May 4th and May 11th, 2022, and mailed by first-class mail to each of the property owners. The petition for Ballantyne Road, Ballantyne Court, Birch Grove Road, Birch Grove Court SAD was properly signed by the record owners of 20 parcels with 19 out of 30 signatures based on the tax rolls, or 63%. At this particular time, I will open up the public hearing, and we'll call it at 6:04. And if anybody would like to speak, I'll say it twice, if anybody would like to speak on those SADs, please come forward. This is where we listen. And I'll ask one more time, please come forward. Not hearing anybody, I will close the meeting. We'll call it at 6:05. Any questions from the board on this?
Now I'd like to move the second resolution for a private road special assessment district for Valentine Road, Valentine Court, Birch Grove Road, and Birch Grove Court.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Not hearing any, go to roll call, please.
Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Karen Guyval.
Yes.
Ed Brightfield.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. We'll move on to the second, or B, Lena Hill and Burns Hill. The township receives requests for an SAD prepared for the purpose of defraying maintenance costs of the private road known as Lena Hill and Burns Hill for grading, repair, snow removal, cleanup, chloride, and salt. The township board received petitions signed by more than 50% of the record owners based on the tax rolls of Oakland County, constituting more than 50% of the total frontage of the proposed SAD, requesting the amount of $280 per parcel for each of the next 5 years to cover expense or improvements, and 5% collection fee for the township. Proper notice of the hearing was published in the Oxford Leader on May 4th, 2022 and May 11th, 2022, and mailed by first-class mail to each property owner within the proposed SAD. The petitions for Lena Hill and Burns Hill SAD were properly signed by the record owners of 15 parcels with 17 out of 22 signatures based on the tax rolls, or 77%. I'll open up the public hearing, and we'll call it 6:06. And once again, if anybody has anything to say about the SADs on Lena Hill, Burns Hill SAD, please come forward. I'll ask one more time for the public hearing on the Special Assessment District for Lena Hill and Burns Hill. Not seeing anyone come forward, I'll close the meeting at 6:07. Any discussion by the board?
Not discussion, but I did receive for the record a note from Mark Smith from Lena Hill Drive. I am in favor and support of the renewal creation of this SAD. Thank you. Signed, Mark Smith. Thank you.
Okay. Then a motion would be in order if there's no discussion.
I'll make that motion. I was waiting on Pauline to make it, but she was busy right now. I'll make the motion for the special private road special assessment district for Pinecrest, Pinecone. Wrong
Lena
one.
Hill
Wrong
and Burns
one.
Hill.
For Lena Hill and Burns Hill.
I'll support moving that resolution.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. No further discussions. Could we have roll call on that, please?
Karen Guyval.
Yes.
Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Ed Brightfield.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, and that passes. Okay, we're going to the last one, which is Pinecrest, Pinecone, Pine Bluff, and Mac. The township received a special assessment roll, SAD, prepared for the purpose of defraying maintenance costs of the private known as Pinecrest, Pinecone Court, Pine Bluff Court, and Mac for road improvements, and the petition signed by more than 50% of the record owners based on the tax roll of Oakland County, constituting more than 50% of the total frontage of the proposed SAD, requesting the amount of $600 per parcel for each of the next 5 years, except for parcel 0523451-015 to be assessed at $227 to cover maintenance or improvements, and a 5% collection fee for the township. Proper notice of the hearing has been published in the Oxford Leader on May 4th and May 11th, 2022, and mailed by first-class mail to each property owner within the proposed SAD. The petitions for Pinecrest, Pinecone Court, Pine Bluff Court, and Mac SAD was properly signed by the record owners of 16 parcels with 14 out of 23 signatures based on the tax rolls of, or 61%. And once again, I'll open up the hearing. We'll call this one at 6:09. If anybody would like to speak on any of those SADs, please come forward. I'll ask one more time, if anybody would like to speak on those SADs, please come forward. Not hearing anyway, I'd like to close the meeting at 6:10. Any discussion by the board?
I'll move the resolution establishing a private road special assessment district for Pinecrest, Pinecone Court, Klein, Bluff Court, and Mac.
I'll support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Any further discussion? Not hearing any, so please have a roll call on that one, please.
Yes. Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Karen Geibel.
Yes.
Ed Brakefield.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, and that passes. Okay, we'll go on to item number 3, extend the planner Rand Bowman's agreement through June 30th, 2023. I think we all know Mr. Bowman has done a terrific job for us over the years. This is only a one-year extension. I know that I think he's planning on retiring someday, and so he's only guaranteeing us one more year, but he's such a great planner that we certainly don't want to lose him, and if we can get him for another year, that's terrific. So does anybody have any discussions?
I'd like to make a comment in the motion. I've known Rand since he joined us. I was part of the planning commission when he joined us. He's been a great planner since we hired him. Very knowledgeable, and I'd like to make a motion that we extend his contract for one more year.
I'll support, and I echo what you said about Rand. He has done a wonderful thing for the township.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion by the board? Not hearing any. Can we have roll call, please?
Karen Geibel.
Yes.
Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Ed Brakefield.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, and that passes. Go on to item number 4, RFP results for Lakeville Cemetery Columbarium site work. I'm going to leave a lot of this up to Pauline because she's handling most of the cemetery stuff, but which one do you need? Oh, you need some of my paperwork.
I know. I let you vote mine.
Okay. So anyways, I'll let you just go ahead with this. You know, this is on the RFPs for the...
Okay, so I sent the board out something today just to kind of summarize where we were. The engineer, everyone received his rendition of the RFP that we received. I went ahead and broke it down a little bit more. In talking to Sunset, they really and truly push that we should not have any trees planted by the columbariums because they want the space so that there's wind going through, there's sunshine coming in, and Bruce had another idea on that one as well. So if we remove the trees, which is addenda number 2, it brings down the RFP price for Rewald $200,826, and for the other company, Allen Group, $247, and then $53. Addenda number 1 are the planners, and this was something that the board, if my memory serves me right, we really liked the look of it, but we kind of wanted to see what the price was going to come back at before we actually said yes or no to. So I broke that out as well. So if we remove the planters from this, Rewald's bid goes down to $194,174. If we also remove the same from the Allen Group, their bid goes down to $231,333. So there is a difference between the two of $37,159. So in going through this and in going through what our engineers came up with, I think the only discussion point left is, do we want the planters in front of the columbariums? And after we have that discussion, then we would know what way to move. I personally think it looks nice to have the planters, but I've also had the experience of going to other cemeteries and looking at some of the columbariums, and the one that we really drew a lot of information from was at Independence Oaks. They have nothing. They just have the benches sitting there, and it really reminds me of going to Washington, D.C. and seeing the wall. So it was very peaceful, very calm without the planters. So it's really more of a personal, whether we would like to see the planters there or not, because it's going to look good either way. Karen, what do you think?
I mean, there's upkeep with the planters.
Yep.
We didn't have, I mean, I know we talked briefly about what we would put in those, but,
Watering, we probably could take care of between the sexton and then the cemetery auxiliary, which some of them are here right now. I'm sure that we would all take turns taking care of that. But yeah, there would be upkeep, and it would be more or less of a yearly type upkeep as well.
there was questions about the colors of the brick, not matching the colors of the pavement. I mean, I think from what I remember.
We narrowed down the colors, so the colors are narrowed down, but yeah, it's going to be similar to the diagram that they proposed if we went with them, but it is a different color. It's a different color than the Columbarium. It's a different color than the actual brick. It's a lighter tan color, like with a little red.
You
So
could also put something that's movable later at a later date, I guess, if you thought it looked empty, right? I mean, we do that at home. You put stuff on your deck and,
change it.
so, I mean, those were bigger, obviously, than planters, but I'm a little
Jacob.
indifferent.
I really wanted to choose coloring or...
We're not
I'm
coloring.
okay
Do you
without
want
the,
planners?
I'm actually okay without the planners. I think it looks fine without them, but I'm not an interior designer. I think we could do without them though.
Going down the line.
I'm comfortable without the planners. I think sometimes with that stuff, you're just, you know, in the future, there might not be people to take care of them, and it looks worse to have ill-kept planters than no planters.
To be honest with you, my brother is buried up at the National Cemetery, and I don't see any of those planters there or anything like that. It's kind of a thing where you go there and you're there for a different purpose, and so I'm fine without them. You know, I don't see them when I go up there, so now that you mention it, I don't see any of them up there.
Ed?
I'm okay without them.
I am too, and I like how the engineer thought of everything so that if we decided to go without the trees and the planters, then this would just be extended to take its place, so that walkway would just be extended. So I thought that was really cool that he thought of every detail on this RFP. So I think that was only the discussion point that we have.
Well, then what we're looking for, what is a motion to award the RFP to?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we award the RFP to Rewald, eliminating the trees and the planters. Do you need a total price?
You could stick that in if you want. It's
I'm
194.
trying to figure out which one it is.
194,
194,
174.
174.
Okay, are we looking for a second?
Sorry, I'm looking at the
I'll second.
And we have a second.
amended ones were in here, and then that's in the, I saw where the reductions were those prices in here, Colleen?
What I did is, and I sent it to you by email today, is I took what our engineers did. So they said that if we removed the trees and the planters from Rewald, those were the prices. So I took those prices and took it from their total cost of 201. So it comes down to 194, 174.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call then.
Karen Geibel?
Yes.
Ed Brightfield?
Yes.
Jacob Newby?
Yes.
Lori Fisher?
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson?
Yes. Okay, that passes. Now, we're on to item number 5. It's has to do with the Columbariums again, but this is, I believe, for the service of the engraving. I think what we'd like to do is waive the purchasing ordinance as a professional service and authorize the RFP for engraving at the Columbarium. We'll need to contract with a company to engrave the niches. We'll solicit from nearby firms. What's being proposed is a firm for up to 5 years, and we need to discuss the font size, okay, based on picture, determine if we will allow an emblem, allow for veterans to have emblems for their branch of service. Once again, this is Pauline with pictures.
So everybody should have received this. This is taken from Independence Township. And basically, each person that's inside of the niche, you can have up to two, would have 4 lines. I did call up a couple of people just to get a rough idea of, let's say, why August is abbreviated. And they said it's basically for centering purposes. September, as you see in that picture, is also abbreviated. I just thought it would be nice to have it full, but they said it is for centering purposes. So this is very simple. Like I said, theirs looks very, very nice. And then I've also talked to another company where they said they actually allow people to put in, and I don't have pictures of this, let's say down at the bottom, they would put in a little emblem. So I guess what we need to know before we ask these people for an estimate, do we like the clean look? Or do we want to give residents an option to put an emblem? They also suggest that if we do go down that road, that we need to decide what maybe 4 emblems we would have, so that it's not total mismatch, so that it would just be, okay, you can pick one of these from these 4 choices. Or keep it simple with this. The only thing that I think that we should allow is that veterans right now, they have a veteran marker for those that are in the graves. There is no way to have a veterans marker here, so I do think that we should actually allow the veterans to have an emblem of for their branch of service on this, and that would be the only emblems that I think we should really say, yes, we're going to allow that. If we want to go above and beyond, that's up to our discussion right now.
Well, I'll start out then. I kind of like just the clean look of it. I'm afraid if we allow too many emblems, people are going to come up with all kinds of emblems, but I do like the branch of service. I think that we should be able to accommodate. I don't think that we should start going down how many emblems. There may be 20 emblems people want, and I think that just the clean look and then acknowledging a veteran is appropriate. But does anybody else have any comments?
Well, Bruce, you forget about my motorcycle club emblem?
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
It's kind of nice to have, you know?
I don't know how you narrow down to 4, like, heart, star, I don't know.
No, they were saying a cross, and then they would say a crucifix, and then you could have a flag, and
you'd have the Star
rose,
David, then
like
you'd have
like a rose or some type of a flower would probably be the most prominent ones, but they did suggest you have to keep it to something that the township approves. It can't just be open.
It's motorcycle group.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of the cross.
Yeah, but then you have to, then you're gonna have a half moon and a Star David and
Yeah, but are we gonna have a resolution saying what can be put in there, or how do you codify what we allow?
If we decide that we actually want to go forward and see some emblems in the RFP, I would like for us to narrow it down what 4 we would want. Then it's going to be up for them to show us the pictures of what their emblems are going to be, because each company is probably going to be a little bit different, and then we would pick. But I think at this stage, we need to know, do we want emblems? And if so, what are the 4 that we would have? And then I'm thinking that if we're gonna go down that road, they should all be in a certain corner so that they're all uniform. And then, of course, the veterans emblem would be on the opposite side. But yeah, that's the discussion point. And in case anybody's curious about how this works and how the RFP is written, so our company is gonna give us a few extra of these stones. So then whatever company we pick, we'll have a case and we have them, those 2 stones, let's say, at that company. And then I would call them with the, for lack of words, order, and then they would engrave it. They would come out to the cemetery. The sexton would be there with them. They would then exchange it. They would put this one that's engraved on and then take the one that's existing off and bring that back to their office, so that they would always have 2 at their office for a rotation. So that's how the RFP is written, to do that rotation. Hopefully we can find somebody that will do that. Everybody's short-staffed, so I don't know, they might end up saying, no, you're gonna have to come pick it up, but that's the way that we're gonna go, to see if they will process in that fashion.
I need to get my head screwed on right here. They're only allowing 4, okay?
That was a suggestion from the
Okay.
Sunset, to allow like 4.
But that would be the Christian, the cross.
The cross is Christian, the crucifix is Catholic, and then they said a rose or some sort of a flower, and then a flag.
Okay, I like the idea, but I see problems, big-time problems. Even though I would like to have it, I want the cross on there. However, I don't want Addison Township to get in a lawsuit if somebody comes up with a symbol that is not on the approved list.
Well, that's another idea.
And that's a problem in that I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
That's a good point.
Go ahead.
I agree with you. I like the cleaner look, but allowing something for the veterans. I'd prefer to see it a little more uniform.
Normally, I'd love the cross and everything like that, but there's a lot of religions, so I realize that could be an issue. So I think make sure you include Space Force, though, in the service, right? Apparently, that's a thing now.
Say that again?
Well, the Space Force is a new department, right? So
Oh,
Someday-
for the
someday
military,
they'll-
yes.
There's
Okay.
so many. You got the Coast Guard.
How many? Yeah.
You got the Navy. You got the Army, and then you got the Navy again. Then you got the Air Force, and then you got the Navy again. I want to make sure the Navy has enough symbols.
Can I ask you something?
No.
Yes.
What?
So since you were in the service, we're going to do an emblem for the service that they were in. Would it go on the right side, meaning here, or the left side? Is there appropriate place for that?
Now, I've got a question for, on your sample, you're showing 2 different people,
Well, yeah, it's going to
Jennifer and
go,
John.
it will be next to their name, so it'll either be here or here or here.
Just
So,
trying to think, where would it go? You know what?
Ask the company?
People that do that, ask the company.
Okay.
But is there a way we can make it that if there is this is their grave. If somebody asked that we put their belief symbol, that we couldn't approve it if it's not I don't know. I feel like I'm turning my back on God. I mean, I don't want to say not to put a cross on there, though. This is a very important thing for a lot of people.
Can we see what some of the samples are, or do we need to vote tonight on the engraving, or before we vote on whether?
I think we should give them some ideas of what pictures we might want to see. Otherwise, I mean, they're not going to come and bring their book. So that's why I encourage, if we're going to go with emblems, to give them some ideas of what we might want.
Well, could they tell us like what their top 10 are that they use? I mean, I would imagine there's a lot of
This is
things.
probably, they've done this many times.
And I did talk to, Sunset is the one that told me about the emblems, and I did talk to one person who does monuments, and it was I said, give me 4, and those were his 4 top ones.
Okay, that you asked for 4. What if you had asked for 6?
Don't know.
We're not putting all 6 on there. I mean, it's just like, ask them, what do they suggest? How many would they allow that we should allow.
Well, they're going to say it's up to us because we're the ones asking for it. So you want up to 6?
You can't put a number of 4. You can't do that. You can't just say, I want only 4.
Do you want 100? I mean, how many are we going to pick from is, I guess, where I'm going.
I would just suggest, if you go through the cemetery now, you'll see every kind of emblem. You'll see somebody with a guitar on there. You'll see somebody, riding a horse on there. You'll see somebody with an animal on there. I mean, how are you going to stop that? Where are you going to put it? I mean, if you say 4, how are you going to?
Well, I'm thinking we're getting off on a tangent here. I'm leaning toward the spiritual side, the Christian side, whether it's Catholic or Muslim or Jewish, or right off the bat, there's 4. There's got to be others. And at the minute we say we're not going to allow you to put it, but we will allow a Catholic to put it, then Bruce, you'll be getting a call from...
Well, that's where I just said, I will
Say
keep
none.
it clean.
Well, I'm talking about Christian, and you're talking about guitars and animals. I agree with that totally.
Well, I'm just saying that how many religions, I mean...
If you're going to allow a cross, you have to allow...
That's what I'm saying. If you allow a cross, you're going to have to allow...
You'd have to allow for all of them.
And I feel like if I say I don't want a cross on it, lightning's going to hit me before I get home, because God's going to be very upset with me.
You're allowed to put whatever you want in the niche. Put a cross in the niche.
Okay. That's why I wanted to make sure I had my head screwed on right. So you can put a cross in the niche.
Yeah, it's your ashes. Yep.
Or whatever.
So my hearing, and we all have to decide this, we want to ask how many religious emblems are available.
Yeah, I mean, they might come
Yeah.
back and only say there's only 5. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's a limited amount, and we could just offer those. I'd rather see, I mean, I wouldn't mind if unless you all oppose it, getting some suggestions on just the religious, spiritual symbols, not the animals and guitars.
Religious emblems only. And then I'm going to ask them for, let's say, not that we're going to say that this is only going to be 5, but maybe 5 samples so that we can see what they look like.
Yeah, that would be nice.
But then it would have to be open to all religions, like Ed's saying, which is a good point. You'd have to have all
We'll get in
religions.
trouble. Now, as far as the military
So we can do the
symbol,
size.
if I remember right, on my jacket, it's got the Navy seal and my name right after that. It doesn't matter, but if you...
So it's first, so it would be down
Like if it was
here.
John B. Pyle, I would say right there by the John.
Well, look at Jennifer. There's not
There's
room
not
to
enough
go
room.
right there, so it's going to have to either go on the right side or the left side.
I would suggest that there's protocol for that, and what you have to do
Yeah.
is contact the VFW.
There you go.
And get the protocol, because I think there's a proper way of doing it.
So I'm going to
Bruce
change
has
the
got the right
RFP to change up to religious emblems, and then just ask how many different ones are there, and then for them with their RFP to give us 5 samples.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And my motorcycle group would not qualify as a religious emblem?
Would it?
I don't know.
We're going to have to define that in the resolution if we go down that road.
They'll have it.
Was that concurrence from everybody, or just one?
Well, so far, somebody's got to make a motion, number 1, that we want to do the 5.
I'll make that motion.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
And I'll support whatever he's motioning.
Yeah, the 5 militaries, that's what I
To
support,
get the
right?
spiritual type emblems in and give us 5 samples.
We got the Air Force, Navy, Army, Marines, space thing.
Could we also have a
Coast
motion
Guard.
that allows me to go out and solicit?
Well, first of all, let's,
Change it to
what, you want to
6.
waive the purchasing order?
Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
Number
I thought
1, so we need roll call on that,
Make the
okay.
motion, we waive the purchase requirement. Sorry about
We
that.
had a motion on the floor, I'm sorry.
Did we have, which one did we
We had
have?
a motion on the floor to, and this one's for consensus, to go out for religious emblems and 5 samples
6.
with the
Okay,
art.
let's have roll call on that first then.
You already said 5.
It was 5, but newbie over there
Space
reminds
Force.
us, we got a Space Force. You got the
No, but-
Army.
Oh, no,
This
that has
is
nothing to do with military. Military is automatic.
What?
It's,
This is for religious
Religion.
emblems.
Right.
Oh, there's...
The 5 is just to see the
Yeah,
samples,
the-
5 different samples of what any 5 might look
the
like.
military stand on their own. They get whatever the military insignia is.
Okay.
This is now for the
Oh,
for the religious,
Can we change it to just 1? That's the
This
cross
is
and everything else doesn't matter?
Samples.
we can't do that.
No, okay. Fine.
So, okay, so
We hadn't had a
Consensus.
second. on
consensus, please, roll call,
my- We
please.
hadn't had a second on my motion.
Yes.
I second that,
Karen.
Carol.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
To waive the purchase?
thank you.
No, we're not.
We're getting there, we're getting there. Jacob Newby,
Yes.
Ed Brightfield,
Yes?
Karen Guyval.
Yes, if you know what the motion is.
Yeah.
Yes, Lori Fisher,
No.
Bennett, yes, Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, okay. Okay, now, the second part of it, you need a motion to approve agreement,
Waive the
authorize it.
purchasing ordinance.
Oh, now we're doing the purchasing, oh, we need to waive the purchasing ordinance.
I'll make that
This
motion.
is- Okay,
I'll support.
and we have support on that. Any discussion on waiving the purchasing ordinance because it's a professional service? Okay, roll call on that one, please.
Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Ed Brightfield.
Yes.
Karen Guyval.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes, Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, okay. Now we need a motion to approve the RFP agreement and authorize the clerk to solicit the RFP with the local monument companies and bring back to the board.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
So
Okay, we have-
that, to approve the RFP agreement with the amendments, correct?
Yep. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? Not hearing any, can we have roll call on that, please?
Karen Guyval. Ed Brightfield.
Yes?
Ed Brightfield?
I said yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes, Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, okay. Item number 6, the budget amendment to the ARPA funds. I think we just need to put some money on the revenue side, if I'm right. Budget amendment, last month we allocated ARPA funds. We're ready to create the department as well as a budget amendment. First of all, a motion to establish the account numbers and amend the budget 101-000-528-000, increased by $325,726.19. And the new revenue budget total of $649,726.19. Is that correct?
Yes, and then we're going to continue with the amendments, though. 101.
The 101-278-884-000, community development, $399,726.19. 101-278-934-002, repair maintenance at $250,000. Total budget amendment for expenditures of $649,726.19. So I need a motion on that.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Ed Brightfield.
Yes.
Karen Guyval.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes, Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, and that passes. Now we'll move on. Item number 7 is approval and authorize the library agreement from 101-278-884-000. The agreement before addresses the use of the ARPA funds with another entity, which is the library, and the entity is to use the funds by December 31st, 2024, and submit accounting of the funds to the treasurer. By approving the agreement, it also allows the clerk to process accordingly for payment. Does anybody have any questions on that? so we just
I
want to
have
make
no
sure.
questions, but I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve and authorize the library agreement, and the funds will come out of 101-278-884-000.
And just for the record, that was $128,000.
I'll support.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Karen Geibel.
Yes.
Ed Brightfield.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, that one passes. Now we'll move on to number 8. Approve and authorize the Pollyant Trail agreement for 101-278-884-000. This is the same process, only it's a Pollyant Trail. Anybody have any questions on that?
It's another good use of the funds. I'll make a motion to approve and authorize the PATMC agreement from 101-278-884-000.
Support.
And we have support, just for the record, that is $30,000. Okay, any other discussion? Roll call on that one, please.
Ed Brightfield.
Yes.
Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Karen Geibel.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, and that passes. Now we'll move on to review and approve the estimates for the parking lot resurfacing from 101-278-884-000. You can see that we have several quotes for doing the parking lot. The only thing I would tell you is that I spoke with the fire chief, and he says that in front, just that little narrow strip in front of the fire station, he says does not need to be done. That one was done earlier when they did the cement. So, that being said, 2 of these bids had that little bit, but it's a small, minute part. The one from KMI, it does not have that little spot in there, but they are $47,500. With Birmingham Seal Coat, with that little thing, they are $63,212. And then Allied, and they included that little strip. Like I said, that little strip is very minute, and they are at $61,228. I will say I went out with all of them and walked the area, and all of them have the same material, and they have the same rock layer. We're going to expand the seniors parking over here. The whole side now is going to be parking on the other side and this side now, because we now realize we need more parking for the seniors to get into the building. But and that is $47,500 was the lowest bid, and I walked it with the owner of that is Cliff Cameron, and I walked it with him, and I walked it with all of the other ones also. So it's this pleasure of the board, however, because I know Lori said that she wanted to use some of the money for the repaving. Now that is to mill it, to take up, grind it down, mill it, fix the really bad spots, and excavate across by the gazebo and put in all new rock under there, and then asphalt that over there, and that includes restriping of everything. So anybody have any questions I'd like to ask?
Well, we put in $50,000 from the ARPA funds, or up to $50,000 for resurfacing of the parking lot. So, based on that, we have one bid that is under the $50,000 that we actually allocated. So, unless there's questions.
I just remember KMI road maintenance. I was just looking them up, but
They're up
do you know
on,
anything about their company? Like, if they've been around a long time?
yeah, they're up in North Branch, and they have, this is the same company that they developed where they put the infrared on the bad spots of parking lots, and then they melt the asphalt down, and then they put in new stuff, and then they seal it around, and they fix potholes. They did a demonstration for all of the township supervisors here a few years ago, and actually came out and fixed potholes in in parking lots and everything. Yeah, they've been around for a long time, and it's a local owner. He lives up on McHale, and all of them are good contractors. I don't have a problem with either one of them. I know of some bad contractors, and they didn't bid. But most people, to be honest with you, are booked. I'll tell you right now that Allied says they couldn't possibly get to us until the fall. The other two, though, said that they could get to us.
Hey, Bruce, yeah, the KMI did meet the pricing, what we're looking for. If you're comfortable with KMI, I would like to go ahead and make the motion to allow KMI to do the asphalt at a cost of $47,500.
May I add, or can you consider a friendly amendment contingent upon receipt of a W-9, insurance as required by legal, and legal review of the agreement?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll support.
Okay, so we have a motion and we have support. Any other comments? Okay, so we have roll call, please.
Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Karen Geibel.
Yes.
Ed Brakefield.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. And that passes.
You forgot to add what account.
Oh, I need that. Oh, no, I did state that, didn't I? I said 101-278-884.
It wasn't in the motion, but okay, it was on the agenda. I'll carry that down.
101-278-884-000.
I'll put it in parentheses.
Okay, now this is the added one, workers' comp renewal. This is very simple, I believe. Most of our workers' comp are with the fire department. As you notice, last year, our workers' comp was $17,000, and it looks to me like we got it down to $14,353 this time. So it's actually gone down. I don't know why that is, unless it's because of people being out for COVID or whatever. We didn't have as many people out or whatever. I don't know, but it actually, I'm just happy the workers' comp went down.
You know what, Bruce, maybe we should make that motion to accept that invoice right now before they find the mistake. So I'll make that motion that we accept the workers' comp fund for a cost of $14,353.
Okay,
I'll support.
I don't
And we have support?
the account number to pull it from.
You can just say general fund, fire, and park accordingly.
From the general fund, fire and park accordingly.
Yeah, they'll give us that breakdown.
okay, so we have a motion and we have a second. Any further discussion? We have roll call on that, please.
Karen Geibel.
Yes.
Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Ed Brakefield.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. Okay, now, this is where we have fun, public forum. Anybody in the public would like to speak? Yes.
I have a question. I live on Ray Road, and we had, extensive issues with the gypsy moth. And I know we took our own initiative in order to spray. Do you have any idea when that's supposed to happen?
I just heard today that they are waiting, with bated breath to see when these little things hatch, okay, and that's the time they have to spray. So they said it's from right now until the end of the month, and they have to check the weather, the wind, the hatching, and it all has to be done perfectly. So they just put the notices out to all the sheriff's department, police stations and everything that there'll be low-flying airplanes within the next probably 10 days, somewhere in
So it's
there.
going to be done with airplanes this time?
Yes.
I remember in the early 90s, Oakland County had a lot of problems with it. And on Drainer Road, he actually hosted the helicopters that were spraying and the tanks and stuff. Right around 1400 Drainer Road.
Yeah.
So they're doing low-flying.
They're going to do it with low-flying airplanes, and so that's all we know as of right now. They're waiting, and when the experts say it's the moment in the the stars all align and everything, and, you know,
Well,
then,
hopefully
you
we
know.
don't get, weeks
so-
of rain in that prime time.
Yeah, no, they'll monitor they'll make sure that it's done at the right time. You know, that's why we have Michigan State University handling when it's time to do it. So they're the experts.
Because I was trying to look and try to find information, and
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go.
It just came up today. I just got it. Matter of fact, it was just before 5 o'clock they put out the statement. You'll see them now. It went to all the dispatchers and the police stations, everybody, so.
So you say people will be notified with a flyer? That-
Well, they're just notified all the governmental agencies and the police and fire and everybody have been notified. So don't report that there's a low-flying airplane that's crashing or whatever. We know what it is. It's the sprayer, okay?
So the residents won't know that it's gonna be happening in the next 2 to 3 weeks?
Not till you hear that airplane probably buzzing your house, probably, so, okay.
I mean, it was... Now, have you ever seen any devastation that bad as what it was along Ray Road?
Yes, go over there by Bar Road, by Drainer and Indian Lake there, and it devastated the Oxford side and us too.
Yeah, it was, and plus, the consequences of, I happened to get the caterpillar wrapped, it was horrific. And so just even the health consequences people can get from something like that, if we can deter that in any way.
Well, we're hoping, it's, you know, it goes in every 5 to 7 years or something, and we're hoping this is the end of it. They think it is, but we'll see. Okay, anybody else in public forum?
Thank you.
Anything from the Romeo schools? Nothing that you'd like to add about anything you learned tonight?
Yeah, did you learn anything tonight?
Oh, me?
No,
Yeah.
her daughter is behind us.
She's
No.
gonna write a glowing report for the township
Yeah.
board.
Okay, very good then. Okay, if you need us to sign a note or anything so you get extra credit, okay, let us know, okay?
Embarrassing.
My kids aren't embarrassed.
Okay, anybody else in public forum? Okay, then we'll go on to Addison Township Board reports. Anything, Ed? Anything?
We had our ZBA meeting last night, Thursday. There is a request for a special septic system going on the island. It has been reviewed carefully by the ZBA, and it's coming back next month for decision.
Okey-doke.
We had our No-Haz collection event a few weeks ago now, and it was a successful one, and we have another one on June 4th at Oxford Middle School, so hopefully it's going to be less turnout than, because Oxford's always packed and it's usually an hour wait, but this time hopefully it's a lot quicker, so.
And if you would please get with me, I have a lot of stuff that needs to go, okay?
All right.
So, bring a trailer.
Oxford Addison Youth Assistants had their youth recognition night last Friday. Really good turnout, was with a food truck, and it was great to see the kids happy and excited about receiving their awards.
I just have one thing, finally, on the Oxford Area Cable Commission. They're talking about maybe changing the bylaws. If that happens, then each township has to approve those. So they would be coming to us, but it's just in discussion right now, so.
Very good. SISMA, anything on SISMA?
No, pretty quiet.
Okay, then we're done with that. Legal, communications, legal report, we don't have any? Supervisor's report. Okay, the only thing I've got to say is the road commission. We do have a new foreman now. His name is Jason Haffendorfer, and I think he's going to work out very well. He answers my calls when I call him, which is elated, okay, so I know his phone works. And they will be chloriding this week and grading this week in Addison Township. And I was at OCATS, and everybody's in the same boat in the whole county. All the roads just were a disaster this year. It wasn't just Addison Township, and they're trying, and I know they get a little short with us on the phones, but they are trying. So I'm giving this new foreman the benefit of the doubt, and I think he's going to work out well. I had a long meeting with him, and I think he's really going to try. Saturday and Sunday, our Christmas in Action group, which is our Christian group that helps all the seniors. I think this is like our 28th or 30th house now. We just did one on Ray Road for one of our seniors who is a widow, and the insurance company needed many things done at the house, otherwise they wouldn't have insurance. We got them all done. It took a little longer than what we thought, and Sunday night we wrapped up after working all day and night, and I just want to thank Christmas in Action for taking care of all of the bills and all of the people in town that donated food and pizza and donuts, especially the donuts. But I want to thank all of them for helping, and I have a whole host of people that helped, and I will put that on the Facebook for the township. I had a little picture on there of all the things that we were doing. So, but other than that, and we did lose a very nice man, a resident of Addison Township, Harold Klein, passed away a couple days ago, and I have known him for a long time. He used to be one of the police officers that worked in Leonard, also in Oxford, and also he was on the mounted division of the sheriff's office. So Harold and I had a lot in common, and I'd be really missed. But anyways, other than that, I don't think I have anything else, and I'm ready for a motion for adjournment.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have support, a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you. Next meeting will be June 20th, 6 o'clock. Thank you for attending.